Good day, everyone. Today, we are stepping into the immersive world of RuneScape, a fantasy universe rich with adventure, but also surprisingly reflective of some real world engineering and construction practices. While it is a land of magic and mythical creatures, many elements of its towns, bridges, and other structures bring out principles we see in real life civil engineering. Let's dive in and explore how this virtual world aligns with the realities of modern construction. And we are now inside the game. Let's just open our map and see where we are at the moment. And we are now currently here. Let's just zoom in a little bit on this map, and we can see that this place is called Falador. We are now entering Falador, and we are greeted with a massive gate. On top of it is a rigid frame bridge that is accessible for security guards, and there are lookout towers on every interval. So let's go inside. So the landing area inside this town looks nice. I can see that there's a little bit of landscaping work on the pavements, where we are standing at right now, on circular pattern pavements. Looks nice. So whenever we see something like this, that there's a grass growing underneath the tiles, it means that the grass was never uprooted from its original soil. In that case, that it is growing on top of the pavement. So one option to remove this root from the beginning was to dig deeper than the root levels of these grass to prevent them from growing upwards again. So let's try to enter one store over here and check how close can we get to real-world construction. So first of all, one thing that we could notice is standing outside, the ground level on the side and the finished floor level inside are on the same elevation. And that is not always the ideal way to do, because if in case there is a rainfall or there are floods, then all those water could just go inside your floor over here. So it is ideal to elevate this a little bit higher, and if in case there's any rainfall or any flood, then you will not be directly affected with the water coming inside your house. We're going in, so nice looking floor. It would be nice to see further details of the columns, because at the moment it's a very thin wall that we have here right now. So there is not a lot of detail being placed on this corner here, which tells us that a column is not being installed on this portion. So by the looks of this shop, they are selling drinks. And at the moment we can see that there are just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tables, and there are only 1 and 2 chairs at the moment. So ideally we could have placed more chairs here so that the customers would come in and enjoy their time. Yeah, more tables could have been placed here. There's a lot of space in this area, by the way. Yeah, we could implement more tables inside. So we have an opening here, and usually for safety features, handrails have to be at least 1 meter high. That is a safety feature, so that people will not easily fall over or trip over. So let's try to visit the upper floor. Okay, the upper floor, let's zoom out what we have here. Yes, we can see more tables here. There are more chairs, so we are fine with that. And let's just go back to the topic of handrails. Yes, handrails still built a little bit lower. We could raise that a little higher, and to reinforce the safety feature of the structure. Let's talk about the floors. Now, the floor is made of wood. It would be interesting to know the layers of what the floor is made, because at the moment it looks like it's just one layer of wood. And why that becomes a concern is, let's say people are having a few drinks here and some of them spill their drink. The drink could just fall down directly into the gaps of the wood and it will go to the ground floor. Not the best news. Let's continue to walk around here. Now we are looking at the balcony. And we can still see that the height of the handrail, same concept applies. A minimum of 1 meter height is the safest practice to do. Let's keep moving. Okay, we are now about to approach the castle, and I can see that we have an arch bridge here. Let's just look at on the side and get a few more ideas on how this bridge looks like. So what we are looking here now is what we call pile foundations. Now these are foundations that is drilled deep into the ground to provide stability for massive structures. Now the foundation is being drilled into what looks like a rock. Now I'm very curious to know about the procedures of how this was drilled, because drilling a rock takes time, and the machinery, the equipment, the manpower to drill this foundation into a rock is not that easy. It also takes time. All in all, a good looking bridge with aesthetic looking statues of warriors being placed on the pedestal. Looks nice. The carriageway of the bridge looks a little bit narrow. It could have been a little bit wider so that people with horses could come inside, and it would have been a two-way access, and there'll be a smooth entry and exit for both the axes. Let us enter the castle now. Okay, we have now entered the castle, and most of it looks like it's made of blockworks, brickworks, and the columns somewhat looks a little bit thinner. By the amount of structure that we have built here, a bigger column and bigger foundation would have been interesting to be implemented here. The next thing that is noticeable here is there are no windows here at the moment. So that is quite strange. So maybe these people have top level of privacy. No windows, full suits, you don't know who is which, just walking around. Okay, we went upstairs and see the upper level of this castle. This level has its own windows now. Now we can get some fresh air flowing into the castle on this way. One thing that I noticed here, if we just zoom in, so this has an opening and this window here is blocked. So let's rotate. What do we have here? So the window is behind the head of this statue, is it? Right. Probably part of the plan. The window was probably built first and then the king decided to put the statue here. I'm quite interested to know how these guys would secure a window. What is the way? What is the way to close this curtain? How do we cover that in case there's rainfall, strong winds, snowfall? Do we just keep it open, or are there some other options? Roof tiles installation has an overlap with each other. It's not being made flat. It's one layer, and then the bottom layer sneaks inside a little bit into from the upper layer, so that in such a way, if there's rainfall or water, the water is not going in between the cracks, but rather it is being flushed outside. So in this case right now, we are looking at some sort of the same concept of the floor that we are standing here right now, which is not the ideal scenario. Okay, let's keep walking further. Let's try to climb up to the rooftop. Okay, further up. Okay, I actually got an achievement for just climbing on top here. Right. Okay, so overlooking outside the castle. Nice looking structure, really. Standing on top of rocks. Now, there are a lot of complexities and technicalities to talk about building a structure on top of rock. We would be talking about soil investigation and the kind of foundations that has to be built across the whole castle. So there are a lot of complexities to talk about that, but let's just keep it aside for another day. And it's a good looking structure, it's a good looking castle. Here we are now in the shared bedroom unit. It is noticeable that the double bunker does not have a ladder or a step. They probably hid the stairs somewhere or the ladder and then just put it back when it's time to sleep. Or probably assemble it from the boxes over here. Yeah. So here we are now in the kitchen or the dining area. So there are only 2 tables and 3 chairs at the moment. And there are more than 10 soldiers or 10 knights that are available. So how would they fit in? Unless they have rotations, then that makes sense. Yeah, I can see that happening. All in all, a great looking structure, and it captures a lot of the real world civil engineering and construction practices. Looks great and definitely worth visiting. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.